Hello there. I want to say a few words today about sex and validation. And this is under the safe relationship training umbrella as far as sex is concerned. And the many ways and aspects that can affect our lives. And under the safe relationship training umbrella, I want to put sex in the context of our validation and why we may sometimes even be using sex in order to gain validation for ourselves and our sense of self-worth. And so today I want to say, firstly, that it's natural for us to want to seek validation. And some of us seek validation in all sorts of different ways. And validation actually means a sense of our own self-worth. And sometimes we want to reach out to other people and even other things in order to have a sense of our own self-worth and to be validated in that sense. And sometimes we can use our sexual attractiveness in order to gain validation from other people. And that's quite natural in some ways. And we also seek validation in lots of other different ways. Sometimes it's in the career that we've chosen. Sometimes it's through the clothes we wear or the way we behave towards other people. And today I want to highlight, in that context, sex as a way to gain validation, possibly from the opposite sex or even from the same sex. And so validation can come in all different forms and through different avenues as well. And for many people, and I think this is the case for narcissistic people in particular, they gain their validation and their sense of self and the confirmation of that self that they put forward through attention from other people, and that attention they try to gain in all sorts of different ways. And one of the ways that we can gain validation, we think, is through sex and gaining the ability to get someone else to want to have sex with us. And then for some of us, it can validate our sense of attractiveness. We gain a sense of our own attractiveness then through someone else perceiving us as being sexually attractive. And the media, of course, send us many messages as far as our own attractiveness is concerned or not. And these messages can be taken on board by ourselves, and we can sometimes gauge our own attractiveness according to whether we measure up to certain qualities that we're told we need to have, such as beauty, which of course is in the eye of the beholder anyway. So one person's beauty may not be another person's sense of beauty. But if we use sex, for instance, in order to validate our own attractiveness, sometimes it can cause all sorts of problems and pain and disappointment if this other person doesn't validate us sexually by wanting to have sex with us, for instance. Or the opposite can also happen in that, yes, they may want to engage in a sexual arrangement with us, but that doesn't necessarily validate our sense of self, because if someone is willing to use someone for sex, that's not necessarily a compliment or a validation as far as our worth is concerned. And our sense of worth needs to come from our core. It needs to come from our sense of self and who we are, and our confidence in that, in our true value as a human being, rather than gaining outside validation through someone else, and gaining that through our sexuality and our attractiveness. And love is about loving the person from their essence, at their core, for who they truly are, on a spiritual level. It's not necessarily about attractiveness, although when we get to know someone and we build up that intimacy and relationship, we may find that they do become much more attractive to us, because we've come to know them at their essence, and we've come to know and love them for who they truly are, and not because they appear physically in a certain manner. And so when we use sex in order to gain validation, we're not liable to receive the type of affirmation that we need at our core and at a soul level, because we may be accepted for our physical appearance alone. And we know on a soul level when someone is just using us because of our physical attributes. And we know at that soul level that we may not be loved for who we truly are. In fact, we may not even be known for who we truly are. So one of the first steps that we can do to get us out of this bind of seeking validation from the opposite sex, or even from the same sex, is to go within, reconnect with our true essence, and build up that sense of self and that sense of true worth of who we are, purely for being who we are, and not because of our physical appearance or attractiveness to other people. And when we do that, and we build up our sense of self and our self-esteem and our confidence built on this authentic love and validation from ourselves rather than from other people, then we are less likely to want to seek validation externally through other people's attention and apparent acceptance of us sexually. And then also we come to see ourselves as just more than a sexual being. We see that our value is based in our essence, and that we deserve to be loved for who we truly are, rather than just for our external appearance. So I hope that's helpful for someone out there. And as always, stay safe and very happy. Bye bye.